Thank you very much for joining me. Talk about business email compromise. Security, it's a bit boring in reality, but it's something that we have to really start taking seriously. Bit of introduction. So we're Bongate IT, so 25 years old next month. We're located in Darlington in the UK, and we're an award-winning managed IT service organisation, recognising one of the leading IT providers globally and the best in the Northeast. We are ISO 27001 and ISO 9001 certified. Bit about me. So I've been working at Bongate for 4 years. I'm the Director of Operations. I'm Damien Harrison. I've been working in the IT sector for over 20 years now, across several different industries: education, healthcare, not-for-profits, and legal services, providing everything from second line support all the way up to IT director. So what is business email compromise, or BEC for short? It's a type of cyber attack where criminals are impersonating trusted individuals or entities to try and manipulate and con people into pretty much transferring money or data. It's quite a sophisticated attack involving a lot of what we call social engineering techniques, and it's very, very targeted. They can have significant financial and reputational impacts on businesses. Just to kind of give you an example of how scary it is at the moment. So Microsoft Digital Crimes Unit, they've seen a 38% increase in cybercrime as a service targeting business email over the past 3 years. As of May this year, the number of national reports that have been received by the National Cyber Security Centre, it stands at around about 20 million reports, and up to 91% of cybersecurity breaches are beginning with emails. And these numbers are really vague because we know that not everyone is reporting when a breach has happened, how it's happened, because it's damaging to an organisation, to the reputation, not only with your customers, but also with anyone that you actually supply services to. So Microsoft have done a snapshot of what the phishing emails are looking like. So the business email compromise emails are looking like from January through to April this year. And a large proportion of them are what they call those. So that's using real advanced social engineering techniques to convince people who receive them to react and follow instructions. So imagine you're fishing and use a bait on your hook to attract a fish. In a similar way, cyber criminals are sending out these emails that are a bait designed to look like they're from someone you trust, a company you trust, a colleague, a friend, a bank, a shopping site. And the email will say something like, your account's been compromised, click here to reset your password, or you've received a gift card, click here to redeem it. When you click the link, you're taken to a fake website. That it looks like the real deal, it looks like the real thing, but it isn't. If you enter your password, credit card information, or any other sensitive information that you've got on this fake site, these cyber criminals get it. They've successfully caught you. They've lured you in and given you exactly what they were looking for. So a low phishing email is just that. It's a trick, a baited hook designed to get you to give away your information to those that shouldn't have it. So why is it successful? And a main part of it is it's the urgency that they place on there. So scammers, they pose as solicitors or executives, and they send these spoof emails. And it's really, really convincing. They had that real sense of urgency. I need this doing now. I need this doing straight away, please. They tend to also target new employees at an organisation because they know that they're not up to date on how the organisation works, who can approve what, etc. They use trick domain names. So when you look at the email address, it looks right and everything looks legitimate, but it's not. As soon as you click on the domain, it's slightly altered. And they'll impersonate people. So they'll impersonate a vendor, a supplier, a customer, a member of staff, typically a CEO. And they'll have access to that mailbox and they'll pretend that they're that person. So when, again, you go in there, fill in the details, this attacker's got all that information. How do they go about kind of pushing this urgency to the end users? So phishing emails use this urgency and they want to make you act really quickly without thinking. So it's a bit like when someone yells fire in a crowded room. People don't stop to ask, they just start running towards the exit. I really annoy myself when I talk with my hands, but never mind. In the same way, if an email says your bank account has been compromised and you need to update your password immediately, it creates that sense of panic. Your first instinct might be to click that link and change your password to protect your money. And that's what they want. They want you to think, oh, something's gone really wrong, I've got to do something now. I know that when people feel rushed, they're less likely to stop and check whether it's actually from the bank. They're less likely to notice that the email address is a bit off, or the link doesn't go to the bank's actual website. So urgency is this tool that these cyber criminals use to rush you into making a mistake. It's like a magician rushing you to pick a card, any card, so you don't notice the trick that they're trying to play on you. Spoofed domains. So we're seeing a huge rise in cyber criminals registering fake domains. So on the bottom of the screen that you can see, it looks like it says Apple, but in actual it's not. It says APP and it uses acrylic I and an e.com. It's a spoof domain. You look at it initially, you'd see it says Apple, and you go there, type in your Apple credentials, and you'd be phished. And it's as simple as that. They're starting to add extra Zs to, say, if you're going to order a pizza from dominospizza.com, they'll add an extra Z on the pizza. You don't notice it when you're in a rush, especially when you're hungry. And they're targeting supply chains for organisations. So it's not just yourselves that are receiving these phishing emails, it's everyone on the supply chain. So people that supply you and people that you supply, they're all getting targeted all the time with very legitimate looking emails. So it's really, really important that even if it's an email like from someone that you know, don't follow the actions through if it's not something you've already discussed with that individual. Take time to understand what it is that they're asking for, because ultimately it could be someone's trying to scam you. If someone contacts you to say, I want to change our bank account details that you've got on file, our advice is pick up the phone and actually speak to the individual. You've sent me an email saying you want to change your bank account details. Is this you? Another note on that, don't call the phone number that's on the email that's been sent to you. Call a number that you actually know belongs to that individual. Because if I was going to phish people, I'd stick my other number on there as well. So you'd end up calling me and saying, is this your bank details? And I'd go, yeah, of course it is. Transfer that £1 million to me straight away. I wouldn't do that, by the way. What are they trying to achieve? So what are these criminals trying to achieve with this fraud, this business email compromise? A large part of it is that they're trying to get invoice or payments. They're trying to convince an organisation to make a payment, and quite a large payment. So they're sending a fake invoice, changing bank account details, you're receiving it, you process it as you normally process invoices, you're looking at an invoice for goods received, yet we've received them, let's pay it straight away. And they're just relying on people being autonomous and not looking through things to make sure it's actually legitimate and it makes sense. We're looking to steal data. Data is worth an absolute goldmine. Sometimes it's worth more than the payment fraud itself. Think about it, if you're sending emails to several thousand customers, they want that several thousand customer list that they can then email on your behalf saying, yeah, we've changed our bank account details, now pay us all here. It's a real easy way for them to make a significant amount of money. And it also allows them to manipulate these other customers of yours. And they're after email access. We've noticed over the past 3 years that a lot of cyber attacks and compromises, they don't do anything for the first 2 or 3 weeks. They sit there and they watch. So they gain access to your mailbox, they sit back and they watch how you work, how you type stuff, what language you use, who emails you regularly, who do you email regularly, what your role is in the business, and then they'll work out how to manipulate what they've got access to. Or they'll look at it and go, I'm not going to be able to do much with that just yet, and they'll park it and they'll come back to it at a later date. AI, everyone's seen talk of AI in the news recently, especially ChatGPT. I love it. I think it's an absolute brilliant time saver. But so do the criminals, and the criminals love it for exactly the same reason. It'll save time. It allows them to be a lot more accurate with the data that they're using. So it improves their phishing emails. So I told ChatGPT yesterday to create me a phishing email. And I told it I wanted it to say this, and it did. It took 2 seconds to generate it. And the language was better than the Yorkshire I use. It looked legitimate. And ChatGPT also told me how to ensure that people click through properly and follow the instructions in there, the call to action, so to speak. But we're also seeing other rises in AI, and this isn't to scare you, but this is just what we're seeing kind of coming around the corner. So there's a solution called deepfake, which is using AI to create convincing fake audio and video. We've seen an attack last year where a large enterprise organisation's CEO phoned up. Although it wasn't the CEO, it's someone that had managed to take a copy of their voice and feed it into AI. They're trying to convince the organisation, again, to make a really quick payment of quite a lot of money. We're also seeing automated social engineering. So these cyber criminals are sat there and they're launching thousands of attacks all at once. Similar to how marketing agencies send a lot of emails or social media posts out. As soon as someone clicks a link or interacts with that email, it'll then automate something else on the other side. So it'll send a follow-up email. Hi, I don't know if you've seen my email, just checking whether you've got my message. Please, can you do what I've asked you to do? It stops them having to do it manually, and it means they can target many, many millions of people rather than a handful. And we're seeing adaptive attacks. So this is why technology doesn't always protect people. And we're seeing a huge change in how the cyber criminals are looking at building these emails, building these messages. They're using, again, marketing terminology, but A to B testing. They'll send several emails out that have all got different subjects, different body text, different agendas. But the aim is to get you to follow their actions and click the links. If something works, they'll get rid of the ones that don't, and they'll adapt the ones that do, and they'll continue to improve and adapt just to make sure that they've got a higher chance of success. So how do you stay safe? And this is becoming increasingly difficult. It's important that everyone takes a multi-layered approach to security. Attendance at events like this, even though you get to listen to my dulcet tones, not everyone enjoys that, I apologise, is really effective. It helps kind of people like me try and keep everyone up to date with what's going on. Education, understanding what the latest events are, what the latest tricksters are trying. Verify requests. At Bongate, I'm a big believer in my team picking up the phone and speaking to people. And the same has to be true for email now, unfortunately. It's I've received an email asking you to change something. Can I confirm it's you? Pick up the phone. If it's real, they'll say, oh yeah, it's me. That's fine. If it's fake, you know that you can delete it, and you've raised awareness on their side as well. Check email addresses. This is one that we still kind of go to because 8 times out of 10, they're still using fake email addresses that don't match who they say it's from. Be wary of urgency. So if someone's pushing you to do something really, really quickly, the chances are it's not real. So again, go back to verifying. Hello, you've asked me to do this. Is this correct? Use multi-factor authentication. It's annoying, and it really, really is annoying that you sometimes have to get your phone out of your pocket and click, yep, it's me, I want to log in. But what that's doing is that's stopping someone that's using your username and password, which is available out there in the dark web, potentially. It means you've got to have something that you've got in your hand in order to log on. Secure your email system. So this is more about your IT teams and your directors, is making sure that your email systems that you're using are the most up to date that they can be, that all the shiny features of technology are turned on to give you a better chance of staying safe. And finally, it's if you see something, you don't like the look of it, you're not sure whether it's legitimate, report it. Give your IT team a call and just check. And if all else fails, then just give us a call, and my team on the service desk will have a look, and they'll either give you a thumbs up or they'll give you a thumbs down. Thank you. Does anyone have any questions for me at all? If so, you should be able to use the Q&A button at the top. And if not, my contact details are there. Feel free to drop me an email, not a phishing one, please, and I will endeavour to respond and answer any questions that you've got offline. But thank you all very much for attending.